Hi, I'm Michelle with Bird Consulting and Joyful Websites, and this video is going to be centered around some of the things that you can do within your browser to help if caching is causing you some issues with being able to see changes that you've made on your site that you know that you've made. We covered in writing in the blog post some ways that you can do things with your keyboard. And here are some things that you can do within your browser. So I find that most people are using Chrome or Firefox or something like that to use to develop the back end of their site. So I'm going to cover those two. They are also the two that I am most familiar with. So this website is up in the Firefox browser, and there's a couple of different options here. This a little menu up here is also called a hamburger menu because it looks like a patty between two buns, supposedly. You have a couple options under here. One is to open a private window that will it doesn't allow cookies. It helps with, I don't think it allows caching, but it definitely helps with that. And I've actually started doing most of my development in a private window because I'm having issues with caching like everybody else. And so that's number one, is a private window. Number two are these web developer tools. This can look a little overwhelming, but there's one thing that you can do that is fairly easy to do. So click on it, go to Network Tools. It's going to open this console down here, and you'll see where it says Disable Cache. Click on that. Those two options are going to stop the Firefox browser from caching content. And then I would just minimize this as much as possible. I think you can close it, but I usually leave it open because I sometimes use it for other things as well. Then the other option, this is a website specific. So when you're logged into your website, under settings, there's this option Beaver Builder. Whoops. And your options, just as a reminder, when you click on some of these menu items, you may or may not have all of these. And when you click on them, they might look a little different because you may have different tools on your website than I have on mine. So I went to settings and then selected Beaver Builder, and we're going to go to tools. There's an option right here to clear the cache. This will clear the cache for everything listed here. It's a little bit of a hassle because you need to take a couple of steps to get here, but this clears more than this one up here. So ease, I would start with a private browser. If that's not working, I would go into the developer tools and disable cache. I would do those regardless. If you're still having any issues, I would try purging the cache here. Otherwise, go to settings, Beaver Builder, tools, come in here and clear the cache. And then to show you quick what it looks like in Chrome, which is this browser here, to do the browser related avoiding the caching. It's an incognito window is what you want to choose under this little menu of dots up here. The other option is under more tools. You'll find developer tools. And under here, you've got an option, under network, you've got an option to disable cache. And I would select that. Now, some of these things, and part of the reason, for example, that I suggest leaving this open, I'm using it for other things frequently, which is why I leave it open. But for you, you may not need other things, and even if it works to close it and still have that cache disabled, if you close it, maybe write yourself a little note so that you remember to come back in here when you're done and unclick that. If you leave that selected, you may find that things start loading pretty slow across the internet for you because this isn't just specific to your website, it is specific to the browser. So anything you're doing in that browser is going to be impacted. So either leave this minimized or open somehow, or write yourself a little note to come back in here and uncheck this when you're done with your site changes. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and here's to happy developing.